guys, so we're going to be thinking here about rounding and also about estimating using what we call benchmark fractions. So a benchmark is sort of like a marker, right? Something where it'll help you know if you're in the ballpark, right? If something is closer to one benchmark or to another benchmark. So here we have a number line because it has arrows on both ends. It goes forever both directions. We've got a 0. We've got a 1, and split in the middle of that is half. So these are sort of our most basic of benchmarks. You can also think that this is right here, this line is halfway between 0 and 1/2. So you could also call this another benchmark of 1/4, right? This right here between 1/2 and 1, you could call 3/4. You can also think of that like money, right? We have 0, and then we have 1/4 or 25 cents. We have 2 quarters or 50 cents. We have 3 quarters or 75 cents, and we have 1 whole, which is really 4 out of 4 quarters to make a dollar. So now how can we use this, right? Okay, so we have these benchmark fractions up on our number line, right? We've got these benchmarks and all these beautiful rainbow of fractions down below here are strips, right? So they're all the same whole, right? They all start at 0 and they all end at 1. And each of these strips is just broken up into different sized pieces or different sized chunks. So if we have a fraction and we want to estimate the answer, right? To know if when we get an answer, are we even close? Is it even reasonable? We can use our benchmarks to help us estimate. So 4/5, if we look at our fifths, here's in blue, we have 1/5, 2/5, 3/5, 4/5, right? Which goes up to this point. So if we kind of like went up whoop, from here, well, what benchmark is this closest to? I would say it's probably closest to 3/4. But if you wanted to, right, if you were just using your sort of basic benchmarks, if we make these ones orange here, 0, 1/2, and 1, you would say it's definitely closer to 1 than closer to 1/2. So then we could say, all right, what about 3/7? Which benchmark is it closest to? Well, let's go to sevenths, 1, 2, 3 of them. Whoop, we're going to go up. And ooh, it looks like it's definitely between 1/4 and 1/2, but it's closer to 1/2. You can also think about that half of 7 is 3.5, right? And 3 is just a little bit less than half. So if we multiply these together, right, we should end up getting something. 3 times 1 is 3, 4 times 2 is 8, something around 3/8, which is just a little bit less than half because half would be 4/8. You should get something a little smaller than a half. If you don't, it's great information, right? You can kind of know that, oops, I did something wrong somewhere and I need to go back and reevaluate. So, using your benchmarks can be a helpful tool for recognizing if your answer is reasonable.